guys, Sierra here with MakseLife. I'm going to do a very brief walkthrough of the form and function of our planners so that you guys kind of know what to expect when you're buying our planners. First and foremost, they come in these awesome, super sturdy boxes, and we purposely made them a neutral pattern on them so they'll go with any kind of office or home decor. You can use this to store your planner or planner supplies or whatever you want with them. They also make a nice gifting option. One of the things that I highly recommend, and I'll get into this more through social media, but I highly recommend accountability partners with any kind of goal setting system. And one of the things that I've noticed a lot of people in our pre-sale have been buying 2 planners and they're giving one as a gift for birthday or Christmas, which I thought was really cool. And a couple of them are doing them for with coworkers or their friends, or one of the girls bought one for her sister. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. All right, so how this is set up in regards to what your options are for purchasing. We have 2 different cover colors, and these are both designed by Peggy Dean with the pigeon letters. She's an amazing artist. Every year we're going to have an artist series. Starting next year, we'll also have a more muted option for the covers for those of you who are not into the more bright and vibrant covers. And we chose Peggy this year for our launch year because we really believe in what she stands for. She's a really huge mental health advocate, animal rights activist. She's all about the love and brings the love to the table. And we really, really love her style. And so she created this hand-drawn botanical floral cover for us. So let's see, the yellow is more of it's kind of hard to tell in the photos, but it's a little bit more of a muted marigold, and it's just a really beautiful color, this is the #1 color trend for this year. We chose light copper detailing for the coil and the foil details back here. It says MakseLife, and then the little eyelets. I'm gonna have to probably do a photo on our feed for you to get a really good view of this, but we upgraded the texture on the outside of the covers to be what's called a linen texture. So it's a little bit more of a kind of slight bumpy matte texture, and the reason why we did this is because this wears way better than the glossy covers that you see on some of these wire oak planners. So that was one thing that was really important to us. So this is the yellow marigold, and then this is the blue gray. Again, all the same little features as far as the coil color and the foiling in the back. And let's see, this one here, we'll go ahead, I'm gonna walk you through the differences in the vertical and horizontal layout so you guys know what they are like, and then I will go through the goal setting system in the front. Let's see, this one I believe is horizontal. Yeah, okay, so when we designed the planners, we wanted to put the goal system inside the same book as your weekly and monthly planning. And that was really important to us, you guys. #1, because over the last 15 years in doing goal setting with people, we have found that if you have your goals in a separate area of where the rest of your life plans are, they tend to take a back seat. They're not first and foremost. And so the way that we have set up this system is just like every other planner. You've got your monthly spread, and then I'm kind of jumping into the goals, but I'll go back into how it leads into this area towards the end of the video. Then you've got a monthly goals spread. So when you sit down to plan your month, you'll have an opportunity to break down your larger goals that we work through in the front of the book into a monthly view. And we focus on 8 areas of life. They are all color-coded throughout the entire book so that that association runs through a theme for the whole year for you. So we focus on personal, fun and recreation, work and learning, family and relationships, health and wellness, spiritual and personal growth, financial and physical environment. And I'll go into that a little bit more in depth through some other videos, but overall, you're gonna find that this is the theme that we carry throughout the entire system and the entire year. And the reason for that is there's always a certain area or certain areas of life that people tend to favor, and others that we tend to not really be overly excited about and tend to maybe not get as much attention as the other areas of life. And we have found that although balance in life is kind of a fleeting goal to try and achieve in life, there is definitely more of a sense of fulfillment, satisfaction, and control when you are looking at every single area of your life and addressing any issues that might pop up. And I'll go into that a little bit more when we go into the goal setting part. But each month, again, has the monthly spread, the monthly goals, and then you immediately get into the weekly layouts. And every single week before you get to your horizontal or vertical spread, you have a weekly actions area. So before you even plan out your week, you're gonna take your goals for the month and you're gonna break them down into actions that you wanna take or need to take for that particular week before you even start planning your appointments, tasks, to-dos, routine, all that kind of stuff. We also have a notes and reflections page every single week, and there's also a tip every single week that's gonna walk you through different aspects of the goal setting process and different personal development tips that we suggest throughout the year. The first 6 weeks, 6 to 12 weeks in here are very intentional with the tips because we have found in working with people through the years, there are certain roadblocks and things that come up at certain points throughout the goal setting process using the system that we like to kind of help nudge you along. And so we've really structured the tips to kind of be a support system for you in that. But on top of the notes and reflections pages, so you have 54 notes and reflections pages in this particular planner because there's an extra week on the front and back end of the year this year. But you also have 13 pages of notes in the back, which I'll show you in just a minute. So there's a ton of note pages. You can use this however you want. Some people will use this for the actual kind of mapping out of their goals or tracking. You can use this for gratitude. You can use this for memory tracking, just jotting down shopping lists or to-dos, brain dumps. I mean, honestly, you can use it for whatever you want. But anyway, you'll walk through and create actions for each area of life. And you guys, this page right here is the most important, most effective aspect of our entire system. And the reason why is that it is here every single week for you. Before you get into your week, every single week, you have the conversation with yourself going around, what do I want to accomplish? What do I need to accomplish in each area of my life? What's required of me this week? And there will be some weeks you might miss it, some that, you know, life can get busy. And the coolest thing about this is that your goals are never forgotten. You just pick right back up where you left off every week that goes by. And in this process, by staying in this conversation with yourself week to week, you'll really start to learn a lot about yourself in regards to limiting self-beliefs, or I've noticed through my work with people that sometimes people will either hold back here or they'll overwhelm themselves. But here's what's really cool about this. You guys, there's no right way to do goals. What I highly suggest and what you're going to find is that we focus more on the action, the doing of things versus thinking. I prefer to take more of a retrospective learning approach through reflection, kind of assessing where you're at, getting started right away, just beginning, getting messy, getting your hands dirty, and being willing to take the action and just work in this. Have your workspace and your workbook for your goals be on these pages from week to week to week, because you're going to really learn a lot about yourself as time goes on. I've usually found between week 4 and week 6 is when people start to really find their flow on what works for them in regards to this space. But it's a really cool process to really learn about yourself and how you kind of approach the things that you want to accomplish in life. And I'll talk about that again more as we work together through all this stuff. So here's the horizontal layout. When we designed this, I wanted to make sure that we weren't requiring you guys to change your planning habits too much, because I know if you're like me, I love my horizontal layout. I don't want anyone messing with that. I've got my system, it works for me. And so we didn't really want to change a ton of stuff. So we've really kind of modeled the layouts in both the vertical and horizontal over a lot of existing layouts out there, and then just added our own special touches. So it's a Monday through Sunday. And one of the things that we did add, which I love, gratitude is a really big, important philosophy for us, a big value that we really cherish. And we'll talk about that more as well. But we have these little hearts here, and we call that our gratitude heart. You can use this space for that to write your gratitude for the day, or that can just be a gentle reminder if you have a different area that you log your gratitude. But what you will find here too is that all the boxes are the same sizes in both the vertical and horizontal to other planners, so that your existing sticker kits, if you guys are creative planners or you have functional stickers for headers and that kind of stuff, everything will fit within these boxes. So that was something that was really important to us. The other thing that we've added that some planners don't have with these layouts is a habit section. And so you'll write the habit down here, and then you'll track it throughout the week. And that's to take some of those to go from the monthly and the weekly, then this takes you down to the daily things that you want to foster in your life. So we love that. In our focus group that we had of people that use this planner for a couple months earlier this year, this was a really big game changer for them. So that's cool. That's all built in together. So that's the horizontal. The vertical and horizontal are exactly the same when it comes to all these other pages. This is the only page that's different in both books. And you'll have an option of choosing a vertical or horizontal, and then depending on which one you choose, you can then choose a yellow or blue cover. So I'm going to go through here with you on these spreads because I wanted to show you guys the color differences, and I'm not sure that the lighting is going to be the greatest, but taking this color scheme that we use for each area of life and the goals, the yellow through yellow, orange, red, purple, blue, teal, green, and gray, we've used those as accent colors for the whole year. So each month is a different accent color for the monthly spread as well as the weekly spread. So I'll just show you this. This one is the blue, and it's very muted. We didn't want to have anything like in your face. If you are more of a bright creative planner and you like all the pens and stickers and all that kind of stuff to spruce things up, we wanted to give you a clean slate to do that. And for those of you who are functional planners who want more of a white space, clean layout, you've got that here. So this is January. And again, the weekly spread has the same color accents there. February is teal. March is green. April, gray. Is that gray? Yeah, that's gray. Let's see. May is yellow. June is orange. And I love it that it's not too like in your face. This is the red. See, it's not like crazy red for July. August is purple. September is blue, and then it just repeats. It goes to teal for October. November's green, and December is gray. Yeah, let's see if I can get some, show you guys the accent. So like that's the accent for the green. And this is the accent for teal. So it's just a slight little variation, which is kind of fun. It changes things up, but again, it's not too much to where it's like overwhelming and in your face. This is the purple. Let's do something that's like a little bit brighter so you can see the difference. There's red. So again, it's just really mild, and we did that on purpose. So that's that for the horizontal layout. Let's go ahead and jump into the vertical. I love this one. You guys, I went a completely different direction in regards to the design of this than I had anticipated, because I did a poll over on my planner account at Planner Friend. If you're not following me, go ahead and follow over there, because I'm going to be posting a lot of my spreads and layouts for the year over there instead of on MakseLife. So you guys might be interested in checking that out. But I did a poll and I asked you guys how you wanted to have the vertical layout, because many of the vertical layouts have separate boxes with headers and a bunch of different stuff. And when I polled you guys, you said that you wanted a single box with no headers, but I went ahead and put one here, and you can use that for, I'm gonna be using it for weather. You can use it for anything, really, truly. So we gave you some space there, at least to have it if you wanted it, but we didn't have any more headers throughout the rest of the day. And then the other thing you guys said you wanted was lines. And so what we did was we wanted to create lines that were very faint. So the inside lines of the vertical day is lighter than the lines throughout the rest of the book. And we did that for those of you who, again, creative planning, if you guys don't want the lines and you want to be able to put stickers down and that kind of stuff, you're not going to feel like you're too encumbered by the structure that's in the box. Again, the boxes are the same size as other vertical planners, so you won't have issues with sizing for stickers. And then down at the bottom, again, our gratitude heart. This can be used for your daily gratitude, or again, just a reminder to practice gratitude, because we really believe that's so incredibly important for many reasons. And then the habit section down here, you have 5, and then the notes section. So again, this is the exact same monthly layout, goes into your monthly goals and your weekly actions, notes, or reflections, and then you have a tip, different tip every week. And so that's that for those guys. Let's go ahead and look at some of these other features. We have an extras tab here at the very back, and you've got a 2020 calendar and a 2021 calendar. And then we go into 13 pages of notes in the back here. So you've got your 54 weeks of notes and reflections, and then you have another 13 pages back here, which I hope you guys just absolutely love. Then we have a pocket folder on the inside and a gusset folder on the back cover. So the other thing that I didn't mention yet, you guys, this is like the biggest, most exciting part for me, was you have 120 GSM paper that will withstand any pen, and I'll do a pen test here shortly, but it is up there with some of the best paper in the planners that are out there. Other than a Sharpie, there's really no ghosting for any kind of pens that we've used. So I hope you guys love that as much as we do. Also, the paper is on recycled paper and it's printed with soybean-based ink. So we went super eco-friendly on this. The other thing that we upgraded was the elastic band to be a thicker elastic band. And what's nice is if you want to use this as a bookmark or to hold things in place, it's just a little bit nicer of a deal to do that. Okay, so let's get to the goal setting. In the beginning, we've got a title page, power in these pages belongs to, name, phone number, email. You've got a letter here from me talking about a little bit about my background and why we decided to build this system. And then we've got just kind of an overview of the system, what the weekly and daily features are, and why we believe that having it laid out in this form is really important. And again, I'm going to go into that a little bit deeper into other videos, but I know you guys are just really interested in knowing what's on the pages. So I'm going to, just for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of walk you through this process. So the first step, there's basically 5 steps to our goal setting system. And we purposely did this because what we want to do is have you guys focus on actually taking action, doing the steps, getting your hands messy, not being afraid of taking action and writing down ideas for creating incremental progress on your goals. And that's why you're going to find 54 pages of weekly actions and 24 pages of monthly goals. That's going to be the bulk of your guys' system and process with the MakseLife planner, because that is where the magic happens. A lot of times, if you have too much prep work, if you have too much front end kind of deep digging, it tends to create more of an obstacle for people. They become overwhelmed, or they put things off because they're like, oh, until I get all of this stuff done or all of it perfect, I'm not going to start getting into this other stuff. And that's not what we want to create. So what we've done is we've kind of back-ended the learning process because we do believe that deep digging is incredibly important. But what we've done is we've created it in reflections every month and then quarterly assessments so that you can constantly be looking back and seeing how things are working for you and where you can start to make adjustments where necessary. And the number one philosophy for us that I haven't touched on yet is that goals to us, and in this book and everything that you will hear from us and everything that we stand for and believe in, that goals are more about who you become and less about what you do. Because really, truly, that is the magic in life. That's the happiest people, the most fulfilled people. They have become someone inside that feels good, and that's what our focus is. It's not like do all the things and do it perfectly, and in fact we want you to get messy, we want you to fail, we want you to become comfortable with things that are uncomfortable. We want to take the stigma away from failure, from non-achievement, that kind of stuff, so that in that you can dissect and start to piece through what works for you, what your truth is, what is most important to you. So like I said, we're gonna touch on just kind of getting to the point with the system. And the number one step for that for us is doing an assessment. It's a life compass assessment where you're gonna have the opportunity to go through and score yourself in each area of life with a bunch of statements. And what we've kind of done is we've created kind of like a Likert scale. Now, this is totally exclusive to us. You're going to see this wheel through a lot of life coaching and goal systems that are out there. Usually in the life coaching world, this is a really big tool that's used, but we've kind of taken it a step further because we believe that although it's important to look at your satisfaction and your overall satisfaction in each area of life, that there's also a good amount of opportunity to find blind spots and opportunities for growth that you wouldn't have if you're just assessing what your satisfaction is in this area of life. So what we've done is we've created some statements that you get to go through, and on a scale of 1 to 10, kind of rate how true that is for you. For example, health and wellness. I take care of my physical, mental, and emotional health. And you get to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. I eat well and drink plenty of water. I get sufficient amount of sleep. I have a regular exercise routine. I have a healthy self-image. I have healed from any stress or trauma I've experienced. I feel strong in body, heart, and mind, and I'm equipped to handle life's events with strength and vitality. And then what you do with each one of these areas of life is you take an average of your score, and then you use the score to fill in, like a pie, your compass here. And every quarter, you're going to come through this process and rate yourself again so that you can kind of see where you've grown, and it gives you a good idea how things are progressing or not. So this is a really great tool that we have. Also, I want to let you guys know, all of these front pages are going to be available as free downloads on our website here within the next month or so. And the reason for that is we believe everyone should have access to this. So if you buy this planner and you're using it and you think, oh my gosh, I just got some really great insights, or I want to do this with my husband or my best friend or my daughter or my mom or my coworker, you can invite them in on the process and print that out, and you guys can do it together. And it's a really great conversation starter for some of the areas of life that you might want to start making change in. So going back to this page, the compass assessment is step 1. Step 2 is setting intentions. So we want you to create from this, you're gonna say, okay, great, here's where I'm at. Now, where do I wanna go? If I'm on health and wellness, if I'm a 3 and I wanna be a 6 by the end of the year, well, what does that look like? What's that going to be for me to get to a 6? What kind of changes do I have to make? And from there, from that space, you're going to create your goals for the year. And it's really just kind of cutting to the chase of where do you want to be now, and what's most important to you today. So because life is dynamic and things change so much, you guys, I really believe that it's important for forward focus. But the coolest part about this entire thing is that as life changes, your resources changes, your time demands and energy demands change. You have the ability to remain flexible in the execution of your goals. So something that you set out to do today may really change in 3 months, 6 months, 9 months based off of how life has changed for you. So you'll have the opportunity to constantly review and reflect and delete anything or revise anything that's no longer working for you. So we have an intentions page here. Again, this is also going to be a download on our website. This walks you through what you could use more of in your life, what you could use less of, characteristics that you want to nurture, habits that you want to cultivate, things that you're going to give yourself permission for and grace for. And then we have a little exercise here for coming up with your word for the year and what that means to you. And this is going to be kind of an anchor for you as well. I have I wasn't going to talk about this till the end, but we've got these bookmarks that are going to be sold in the store, and they're like in an ombre gray, so they look pretty in your book. One of the things that we want you to constantly look back on is this area here, because this is going to be where you're setting your intention. So we've got this fun bookmark called My Vision, and on the bottom it has a quote called Dream Big. I believe these are going to retail for $12 or $15 in the store. I will let you guys know for sure here shortly. And then we have one for the monthly goals, so that you can when you're doing your weekly actions, you can look back on your monthly goals. And then one that says this week. This says Dare to Grow. And this says Just Begin, because again, just begin, take that action. So I wasn't going to show this till the end, but since we're here. So then we go into setting goals, and there's not a lot of workbook pages in the front here. And again, we did that by design because we feel that it's important to just dive into the actual goal setting and do a lot of the reflection and learning through the process of actually just kind of jumping in right away and getting your hands dirty. So we go through kind of some good goal setting tips, because that's the one thing that I've noticed a lot of people get hung up on. You've got people who say, I want to eat, for example, like I want to eat healthy. Well, what does healthy look like? Does that mean you're not going to eat out this week? Does that mean you're going to do 3 home-cooked meals? Does that mean you're not going to eat sugar, or you're going to cut out soda, or you're going to, stop drinking caffeine, whatever that is. So what I do is I kind of just walk you through like how to get a lot more specific, so that the goals that you do write end up being a lot more attainable, or at least give you a better idea of whether or not you're on the right track, because vague goals don't end up getting done. So we really talk about that a lot. And then I walk through committing to goals, really before you commit to goals, to make sure that they aren't shoulds or expectations of other people, that you really, really, truly believe that they're in alignment with what it is that you want out of life. So I kind of talk about that kind of stuff. Another thing that we really believe in is reviewing and removing your goals on a regular basis. So I kind of talk about that as well. And we discuss that in the tips, like I was talking about on the weekly pages. We talk about that a lot. Hey, it's time to review your goals. You have permission to remove anything that no longer, works for you. And so there's a lot of permission that you're going to find in this book. And the reason for that is, there's no one way to do goals that's right for just one person. Everyone's going to purchase incredibly different. So we've given you a lot of space and freedom to be able to make changes based off of you and your life and what's most important to you and what needs to change when it needs to change. So then we go into how to set your annual goals, your monthly goals, and your weekly actions. And this is really short and concise, and you literally just go through the steps, and that will walk you through how to go ahead and get started. I mean, you guys, we're not wasting any time. We're jumping in, and we're doing that for a reason. We want you to spend your time in these pages. This is where we want you spending your time. I want you to jump right in. So we immediately get into creating your annual goals. And again, here's the instructions for that. I'm going to do some videos that we'll post on our YouTube channel that will walk you through, where I'll be guiding you a little bit more in depth, and that will help you guys as you go through. So we've got some space here. What I want to say is that just because this space is big doesn't mean you have to fill it all up. You can use this however you want. There are some people that say, you know what, I only want one big goal for each area of life. And there are some, like me, I actually will create quite a few. There have been times when you'll see like 2 or 3 in one area, and I might have 10 in another, because they're not all monumental goals. For me personally, a lot of them sometimes can just be something that's like an act of mindfulness. I want to be more present with my children, and what that looks like is having 10 minutes of dedicated playtime with them every day. And that's an example of a smaller goal, whereas a larger goal might be for my family to go on a week-long vacation in Hawaii. So there's just a bunch of different ways you can come at this. And again, everyone's going to look different. And I'm going to walk you through and guide you through the planner with the tips and with the videos that we have. But really, again, this whole thing is all about freedom and flexibility. So we've got, we've got 4 pages of the annual goals. And then we jump into a vision board. So this one I'm really excited about, because I don't know if you guys do this, but I create a vision board in Pinterest every year. And so it's always fun for me to go in and print out those pictures and quotes and words, and I block them down in here. So you can either put your vision bookmark in here, or you could put it in your annual goals. But this is an area where you guys are gonna hopefully look back on every time you do your monthly goals. Look back here, revisit what you're working towards, why you're working towards it, and that will really keep you guys anchored to that. The other thing that I didn't point out is down at the bottom, you have an opportunity to talk about how the goals that you've set here are going to improve that area of life for you. So you'll do a little bit of reflection on the why. This is going to be your why of why you're doing those things. So we do go into that. And then I have some cool goal setting quick tips here. These are really awesome, really powerful. Again, we wanted to create something that is quick, that just gets you moving into taking the action. And then we get started, you guys. I mean, it is really that simple, and we, again, did it that way on purpose. So hopefully this gives you guys a really good idea of how things work. At the end of the month, oops, I can't forget that part, is the monthly reflections, and you get an opportunity to look at what your biggest wins were, your biggest accomplishments, and what's working, what's not working, what you're most grateful for, habits you want to nurture, and any adjustments and changes that you need to make moving forward. And then when you're done with that, you close up your month, go through, highlight anything that you've accomplished in your monthly and weekly goals, and then you get started on a new month. So that is the system in a nutshell, you guys. Again, I will go much deeper into the philosophy of things and guiding you guys through how this whole process works. But for now, hopefully that gives you a good enough idea on what we're all about and what you guys can expect in our planners. And I am so thrilled that so many of you guys have been so excited about this system. It works, you guys. I have had so many people through the years that I've coached and taught goals workshops to that still to this day will email me and ask me for my spreadsheet, because that's where this came from. It was a spreadsheet that I used to use and give to people that had a similar layout as this, and it really works. And I am so excited to hear how all of this plays out for you guys and watch your progress and cheer you guys on. And I really believe that good things are coming for you this year. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me on DMs on Instagram, or you can send me an email at hello@MakseLife.com. That's MakseLife.com. And I look forward to seeing how this works for you guys. Thanks again.